What is up, YouTube? My name is Dead Mewtwo, and in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you a really interesting deck that is so fun to pilot. This is going to be a non-EX deck that really pushes the boundaries for some early game aggression and some mid-game control. I think you're all going to like it, and so this deck is Kabutops with Lucario and Marshadow. Oh my goodness, is this powerful. But just before we get into today's video, I'd like to take the opportunity and go ahead and appreciate you all for being my audience. Thank you so much for giving me your time, and thank you so much for giving me your support. It really means a lot to me. If you liked today's video, let me know by hitting that like button and commenting down below exactly what you appreciate about my commentary, and if you're going to try this deck out there on your own in the wild. I don't think that I can label this one S tier, but however, it is a really excellent one to play. It does contend against some of the Arceus meta out there, and I think that you're all going to really enjoy it. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button with notifications on so that you can be notified for whenever I have a brand new video for you. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's strategy. First on the list, we've got the Dome Fossil, Kabuto, and Kabutops. This is an excellent low energy cost stage 2 line that we're going to be running duplicates of. And so Dome Fossil doesn't really need too much of an explanation except for it's an item card that acts like a basic type Pokemon with 40 HP. If you happen to put the Dome Fossil in the active slot, it's not retreatable. You're going to have to discard it. So keep that in mind. Moving forward into Kabuto, stage 1, 90 HP with 1 energy cost to retreat, weak to grass, unlike most other fighting types that are weak to psychic, and a 1 energy cost attack called Shell Attack that does 40 damage. All in all, not too bad. Usually by the time Kabuto's on the field though, we have a Lucario non-EX ready to go, which means that Kabuto usually does attack for 60. It's not something I want to promise every single time, but it is something to keep in mind whenever the time comes. Moving forward into Kabutops, it has 140 HP, still a 1 energy cost to retreat, it's still weak to grass, and only a 1 energy cost attack called Leech Life, which does 50 base damage, and has the flavor text that reads, heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage you did to your opponent's active Pokemon. That also takes into consideration over damage, or if you happen to be running a Red or a Giovanni or your Lucarios are ready to go, Kabutops is going to be healing for that much more. Any sort of damage buff in this deck equals life gain for Kabutops. Ultimately, it makes this card incredibly hard to deal with, especially whenever he's buffed up. Now, some of the things that help us enable that, again, we've already mentioned that we're going to be running the Lucario lines. We're going to run 2 of these, and so I have chosen the Riolu from Spacetime Smackdown just because it has a 1 energy cost attack that does 20 damage, meaning that if you happen to be going second and this is your starter, that you can still dish some damage and stress your opponent while they're setting up. If Riolu is still in the active slot when it's time to evolve into Lucario, and you've attached 1 energy to attack the previous turn, you're going to be swinging for 60 damage on your subsequent turn, equating to an 80 total damage between 2 turn cycles, and sometimes in the early game that's enough to shut down your opponent's setup. Now, Lucario does need 2 energy to retreat, and he's also weak to psychic type, so these are some things to keep in mind whenever he's out in the active slot. Now, as our final piece to the puzzle, we're going to be running 1 Marshadow in this deck, and that's because its revenge attack is too easy to not pass up on. Marshadow has 80 HP, a 1 energy cost to retreat, is weak to psychic type, and a 2 energy cost attack called Revenge, which does 40 base damage. If any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does 60 more damage. And so that means Marshadow can usually swing for 100 damage when it's time for him to come in. And again, if Lucarios are built, we're going to be swinging for 120, 140. And if you're fighting a weakness like Arceus, 160, just from Marshadow being able to hit that active slot after your opponent has knocked something out. If we can, we want to avoid that, but however, this is a contingency to keep in the back of our minds as we're pushing forward on our game plan. We're going to be running 2 giant cape in the deck, and that is because when Kabutops has a cape on it, it's so hard to get rid of. Not only is it past the 150 HP threshold, but it heals nearly 70 to 90 every single turn on top of dishing that kind of damage right back. Giant cape is a huge piece to our success here. The supporters that we're running is kind of minimal because our deck is full of Pokemon, but we do run the 1 Pokemon Center Lady and 1 Sabrina. The Pokemon Center Lady was huge for Kabutops because now we have access to something that can clear conditions as well as heal 30 damage. When you add that with a Leech Life, do you really get to put some momentum between you and your opponent? So here's the full deck list in case you want to build this on your own. Some things to keep in mind that I haven't discussed yet is that because we're only running Riolu and Marshadow for a basic type that's going to be targeted from Pokeball, as well as one of our starters in the beginning. So preparing for a Lucario, preparing for possible knockout is something that you're going to have to consider as an early game decision while you're possibly building up a Kabutops. I think that this kind of deck is really interesting to pilot because it leverages decision making that you don't really have in any other playstyle. And so if you're going to try this on your own, let me know down there in the comments. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. All right, we're going to be going second That's cool. We like to go second so that we can start attacking first. In this kind of deck, we want to be able to do that. However, we also do benefit from being able to evolve first. All right, so we're fighting a Palkia. That's going to be interesting. This might be an 18 trainer Palkia deck. I've been seeing so many different types of 18 trainer decks here in the ranked list. Let me know down in the comment section exactly how ranked has been for you all, because man, I have some opinions, some hot takes. Oh, all right, so we professored. Let's go ahead and just get this Riolu out there. We got 2 Riolu ready to go. I'm going to attack with this 1 Riolu. It's going to do 20 damage. Palkia is only going to return 30 back, but we're looking at 2/3 of our Kabutops line, so we just got to get that. We got to get that fossil. All right, potion. They're going to heal up. Here comes that 30. All right. Giant cape. We like to see that. I just need to get me a fossil online. Riolu, Lucario, and a Pokeball. All right, not a fossil, but however, I think I am going to be able to do some attacking. All right, so let's do a Marshadow. And then Lucario is going to go up in the active slot. This is something that I've had to really prepare myself for when playing this deck, is that Lucario in the active is okay. We're going to want to do some damage. All right, so 60. I'll tell you what, ever since Ranked came out, I have been always a little more puckered lately just when it comes to, is that a Sabrina? Is that a Cyrus coming at me? Oh my goodness, is a red on the horizon? And so, yeah, I got to constantly consider what I got to do before I can hit that end turn or attack button. Okay, so what would we get to do? We got a Kabutops, 2 Kabutops. Man, I'd really like to start seeing a Dome Fossil right now. All right, so let's go ahead and heal our Lucario. This is going to give us a little bit extra margin because they still can't attack with their Palkia big time. And then let's go ahead and we'll put Palkia within 1 shot. If I happen to draw my second Lucario, I can definitely claim the Palkia, even if they Arita. All right, so they cape up on the Wiglet in the back. And then there comes 30. Hopefully I can survive for 1 more turn. Dome Fossil. Perfect. Okay, good timing. I wish you came a couple turns sooner, but let's go ahead and do it now. We're going to cape up the Dome Fossil because that means that our Kabutops is going to have some extra health to heal from and to withstand attacks. So, all right, now Marshadow's going to get it just because I want to be able to attack this Palkia, and I don't want to give them... I don't want to give Wiglet... I don't know. I don't want to give them anything, so I need to be able to do my damage. And I want this Lucario to be safe so I can do some extra damage with the Kabutops. The strategy is there, I promise. All right, so they're going to Lucario. I think that they're going to go ahead and start sending the... Okay, so Lucario's down, but check this out. Check this out. Okay, so Marshadow is in the active slot, and that means that because a Pokemon of mine was taken out by an attack of my opponent's this previous turn, I get to do an extra 100 damage right now. So this actually isn't too bad. Let's put this on Kabuto just because, you know, I'm going to need energy there anyways. All right, Revenge for 100. I wish it was 120 because Lucario was up, but, you know, that's okay. That's okay. Man, just wait till you see what I can do with healing. That was a perfect distribution of health. Everything is staying up, so that means I'm pretty okay. If they did take me down again, I would have just attacked with Marshadow. All right, so Lucario is a little bit of a Hail Mary on certain things, but let's retreat into Kabuto. We're going to evolve into Kabutops, and then, honestly, we're ready to go full speed ahead. So I'm going to be attacking for 70. Let's put this on Lucario just because I'm going to need energy there if I need to happen to get knocked out. But 70, heal for 70, up to 130. And this is how this is going to go. All right, so they're attacking. Oh, man. Lucario got it all. That's okay. That's okay. Because we're just going to retreat from Kabutops into Marshadow, and then we're going to take this win. There it goes. Awesome. Marshadow really carrying the game here. Awesome. That was 3 knockouts for Marshadow this game. All right, let's see how this one goes. Okay, we're going to go second. That's awesome. Ooh, we start off with 2/3. We got the Riolu and the Lucario. That's pretty hot. We're looking good. Set up. Manaphy. Okay. And a Wugtree, or the Wiglet. Shiny Wiglet. Gotta love the new shinies. All right, Kabutops number 2. Pokemon Center Lady and a Pokeball. All right, let's do that Pokeball. Got a Riolu. Okay. So we'll do this, and then we'll power up our first Riolu up top, and then let's go ahead and attack. Wait, is there anything else I need to do? No, let's attack. All right, so they're going to charge up. That seems normal. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so we got the fossil. Okay, that's look at this. All right, let's go ahead and power up the back Lucario. Keep our front Lucario as a fodder for right now, and then let's. Ooh, all right, let's put this on the back Lucario just in case we gotta pivot here in a minute. But attack for 40. We'll clear this Manaphy. Oh man, this is looking good. We're looking great. All right. Now they're gonna have to figure out how to power up that Wiglet without energy ramping. Oh, okay. So we got the Origin Form Palkia and the Wugtrio. Giant Cape. Okay, so we got a second Lucario. This is looking really, really excellent for us. Let's see. Retreat that into my Dome Fossil. Let's do this. Kabuto, we're going to be able to strike for 80 right now. That's going to be crazy. Okay, so there's that. All right, and then Wiglet comes out, a second one. Let's see what happens. Do their pop out throughout go crazy? All right, so they evenly distribute 150 on each. That's not too bad. Not too bad. We're going to Kabutops here. And then we're going to, I think Professor, or no, it was Pokemon Center Lady. That's what we're going to do. I totally missed my Kabutops up top. That was just, oh my gosh. Okay, well, whatever. We're going to fully heal anyways. All right, so we're fully running right now. So we can clear out this Wugtrio here in a second. And then that would actually claim us this victory, so. Misty. All right, what do they get? 1. Just 1. They, Ooh, unlucky. Unlucky. Hoping it was all going to attack the Kabutops, maybe. I got the Sabrina. Let's just go ahead and clear this out. Oh, they just concede. Okay, well, there's that. Excellent. Good showcase. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up the gameplay for the Kabutops deck. And I think that it was pretty awesome. I know that this one isn't the most competitive, but however, it is an extremely fun one to play, and it's a very fun one to win with. I think that with ranked just coming out, it's been a little bit hard to find some time to have a little bit of fun in the game. It's a fighting deck, so that means that it also competes well against Arceus in that meta. And so at the end of the day as well, it's hard to really compete with 90 plus HP healing every single turn. If you enjoyed the gameplay and you enjoyed my commentary, let me know by hitting that like button and commenting down there in the comment section exactly what you appreciated about it, and if you're going to be trying this deck out there in the wild. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button with notifications on so that you can be notified for whenever I have a brand new video for you. My name is Dead Mewtwo, and I want you to have a safe and blessed day. Bye-bye.